Yes, here we run again. Welcome to my free masterclass 101. If you missed out on part 1 and part 2, link is down on my description. Today we go have the tools and the uses. In Davinci Resolve, we have so many power tools that we use to our notes and make our look, and every tool has its own benefit and way of using. And those tools are curves, UVS curves, lift gamma gain, shadow midtone and highlights, constructs, qualifier, and power window. Let's start with the curves. Curves does so many things in it. You may control all your exposure, color, split dynamic. It's most powerful tools in the color grading. You may find these tools in different programs, so it's so important to understand curves behavior. Curves construct your video and saturate it at the same time. It has a black point, shadow from at this point, midtone from this point, highlight from this point, and white up to this point. When you drag your shadow down, you make your video darker, and when you raise it up, you just swipe your shadow into bright area. It's the same as other points. In other way, curves may split your low footage by dragging down black points into darkish area and white points into bright area. Some people make custom curve, which is one of my best techniques to vivid your video. We have different type of custom curves: S curve, wash tap curves, or slide S curve. The next is UVS curves. UVS curves only change color into specific color. Like I want to change my blue into a teal, or affect my green into warm green, or make my yellow into orange. And UVS saturation is only give a juice to specific color. Like I want my green to be saturated, and I'll just raise it up my saturation or invert it for desaturate the green. UVS luma only control brightness into specific color. If I want my blue to be darker or brighter, then I might twist into this part. Saturation, UVS saturation has its important, but I found that most of time I query my saturations whenever I just overdo my color. And then we have this very important, which is primary tools. And these tools we have lift, gamma gain, and offset. These are very most powerful tool in Davinci Resolve. Lift control black and shadow at the same time. It curve your black part and shadow parts whenever you process it. Gamma affect upper shadow with the midtone and lower highlights with the midtone. It has a big room for the midtone, different with the midtone wheel, which is we often know. Again, also take your highlight and white part range at the same time, so you don't need to overdo it. I often like using this if I have a low footage because it's super flat and it need a super power control tools. Offset, it is overall, it takes all black and shadow, midtone, highlights, and white detail at once. It's like an exposure in Premiere Pro. Most of the time I use this tool in my primary notes or color correction process. Bars primary is the same as wheel primary, which is a very simply for mouse users. Whenever you go twist in here, also affect the wheel tools. In addition, we also can change color into this wheel. Like a lift can only affect color into my shadow, or make color change into my midtone, or make some changes on my highlight, as well as into my offset. Because it's overall, I often like to use this tool for my white balance, but you may even change your temperature into these tools also, but white balance is the best option. Next is the low tools. A low tools is like a primary tools, but way of effecting is different. A low tool is the less effecting. Here we only have a shadow area, midtone area, and highlight area. Also work as same as primary tools in a color wheel processing. Alright, we gonna have a construct and a pivot. These tools are so complicated, but also nice when you use them properly, especially construct. It makes vivid to your video and strong your footage. Also, it increases saturation at the same time. What it does, it splits your range from middle part to upper and middle part to downward. The more you do is the way you just ruining your picture or make your picture stronger. Pivots, it only follow the construct rule, but it's only controlling brightness and dark parts into both sides. So next we have a qualifier. This tool is most of amazing tool. I don't know why I like this. It's only give you possibility of controlling, protecting, and make a change into your selection part. Most of the time I used to qualify skin tone or some area which I see I need to protect or make a huge change without ruining other color. Let's see into skin tone. What you do is click here and into qualify panel. This pick your selection like this skin tone, then custom your selections properly. I use this technique especially when I have 8-bit footage into my screen. I recommend it wide into 0, the soft into 35 or 50 sometimes, and into my denoise 25% or 15% into my blur, and then the ratio -3. Then I reduce this node intensity halfway 0.5. Then whenever I make twist, it's only affecting my skin, but the time I just take off this qualifier, you can see the gradient affects all the pixel. But if I take back, it does only affect my skin, and this is why I like qualifier. Remember, do not using qualifier and exporting your light. This doesn't work anymore. Last is power grade. This is also most of my perfect tools. I use this sometimes instead of qualifier. Also, this make a specific part change most of time. People like to use this for the fake lights. I often like to use this to vignette my image. Sometimes I use this if I want to fix my skin tone. Then I solo this part of my skin, press Shift H all this part. Then I mask my skin without see any color, and then I check on my vector scope on my skin is in the right position. Thanks very much for watching this video. Please comment down below if you have anything so further. Subscribe this channel. See you on next masterclass part 4.